Hey everybody, it's your boy SergDragon. Welcome back to another edition of the Heavens Monsters podcast. With me always is Terrence, aka T-Money.
If you smell what the lion is cooking.
Today we are going to cover Monday Night Raw and NXT on, what was the date? The 28th and the 30th of October. I had to think about that for a second because we just got our minds mixed up on something else. So let's go ahead and start it off with, I like them. I'm not going to lie. And I kind of figured with how they're acting, they were already turned heel. We would have the WWE Tag Team Women Champions, the Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane, come to the ring with their manager or representative, Paige.
The valet.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they for women, they valet.
Mm-hmm. In which case, she would try to hype up the Kabuki Warriors for the upcoming match this Wednesday on NXT. And ultimately, it would be Asuka and Kairi Sane jacking the mic from Paige, and she would not have it. She knocks the mic out of Kairi Sane, who was the second person to get out of her hand. And they speak in Japanese, their native language. And when she was going to pick up the mic that she knocked out of Kairi Sane's hand, we would see Asuka in call it a state of horror position, where her hair is dangling over her face and you can't see a bit of her face. And all of a sudden, the mist, Paige gets a face full of the green mist, the Great Muto style. Oh, damn. That just goes to show that they done with her. Which means, in storyline wise, this is actually saying that there's something going on backstage that's bigger and better for Paige. I can't say for sure, but that's just my opinion. What do you think? Think she's going to make a comeback, or she's going to be general manager or something?
I think she's going to look for another new talent.
With that said, the Kabuki Warriors are now getting ready for their match with Kairi Sane one-on-one with Becky Lynch. Also, Kairi Sane is rocking a new look with her gear. All black leather and not bad. I love the fact, I'm not going to lie, I love the Japanese culture, and they're rocking it to a T when they were coming out with Paige. I still love them, even though they're heels. They're one of my favorite female wrestlers right now, especially when they're a tag team. So I'm still gonna like them.
But see, they don't mention the Great Muta in the WWE, bro.
Nah, they mentioned Nigeria. They just mentioned the Mist in general.
Yeah, the one that they got that trained them was Funaki.
We would have Becky Lynch defeat one half of the tag team champions, Kairi Sane, by making actually, it doesn't say here. If I remember correctly, it was by disqualification on account of Asuka interfering in that match. If I'm correct. Yeah. Next up, we have Buddy Murphy going against R-Truth. And R-Truth, at this point, a lot of people would think that he still has the 24/7 title since it's usually his thing. No, technically, he still doesn't have it. One of the half of the Singh brothers does still. And will have it throughout the entire night. So, sadly to say, R-Truth, tough luck. Though the Singh brothers did make an appearance in that match that ultimately had R-Truth spinning around, running around the whole time, and he didn't look back because he's literally last in line. So the one behind him is actually the one in front, which is the one holding the title that he wanted, his baby. He goes into the ring at the 9 out of 10 second count and gets Buddy Murphy's finisher, and he's put out. Poor R-Truth. Your thoughts?
I don't think he is terrible. I don't like the way he is.
You still think they're multiplying, even though there's still just two of them.
I'm not a big fan of belts. I think the belt's horrible.
Next up, we have Ricochet versus Drew McIntyre representing Team Hogan and Team Flair in that order. Sadly to say, this match would be thrown out by disqualification due to the surprise out of nowhere RKO interference by Randy Orton, the Viper himself. Seeing this as an opportunity to weaken one of their members for the upcoming event this Thursday, which is now yesterday. Today's Friday. I haven't finished watching it. Thank you. So, that said, ladies and gentlemen, Ricochet is injured and wounded, and Hulk Hogan is not liking this. He even got in a very close personal space with Drew McIntyre, or should I say the vice versa. Drew McIntyre got into the face of Hulk Hogan. It looked like,
they got into his face.
Woo, this looked good. I would like to see that, but Hulk Hogan is not liable to wrestle anymore. Too much. Next up,
he doesn't have his legs.
Next up, we have a one-time gimmick, I guess. We would have the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Viking Raiders, go up against a tag team called the Chicago Cubs. They're not native to that city because their city lost to them. They whooped their asses, rightfully so.
They're just two guys in uniform.
Next up, we would have a promo once again of AOP, better known as Authors of Pain. They're still not wrestling. They're just stating that they're the most dominant and you haven't wrestled yet. What do you got to say to that?
Boo.
Anything else? It was a comment you said before.
Wrestle.
Not loud.
Y'all need to stop talking and wrestle.
There you go. Next up, courtesy of the fact of Andrada, there you go. Andrada ended up having a victory over Sin Cara because of the fact of his manager, Representative Zelina Vega. Sin Cara ain't gonna fall for that trick twice. He ends up bringing a new women talent wrestler who's a masked wrestler as well. I got that heads up wondering, a new masked woman shows up on Monday Night Raw. What? What the heck? And apparently it's a name I'm very frequent with because of the fact that I got a cousin named by the same person. He brings in a masked wrestler known as Catalina. I got a cousin named Catalina, so that's easy for me to remember. So she would end up representing his outside partner. It's a one-on-one match, but not a mixed, but still, Zelina and Andrea's teamwork gets them the win over their newly found tag team introduction here on Monday Night Raw. Hopefully they do better. And now we have a interesting concept of a new tag team looking to be into the title picture of the women's tag team titles. These two will be brought together. They had a heated rivalry. They are old friends and enemies. They are a legacy in the making between Ric Flair and Bret the Hitman Hart and his, I think, brother?
Brother is brother's.
No, or is it his cousin? Anvil Neidhart.
No, his brother-in-law.
There you go. So it would be Charlotte Flair and Natalya going up against the Iconics for the first time ever to prove that they can be a tag team for the potential of becoming the new women's tag team champions. In which case, they beat the Iconics, rightfully so, proving that worth.
I had to go for the one who I like better is Natalya. Because she's a veteran. She's been in the day longer than Charlotte Flair.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, I think her family's better than the Flair family.
Getting ready for the no count out anywhere match which must have a solid victor and will not stop, is Seth Rollins accepting a challenge from Eric Rowan. Ultimately, the match ends in the back in a unique way we haven't seen done ever or in a while. It would be a forklift with a wooden crate holding between the bars that would be placed down on top of Eric Rowan to make sure he could not get up for the 3 count, and it's very effective. It gets him the win. Will we see that at Crown Jewel in a same manner? I can't say. I haven't seen it yet. Where I left off is the beginning of the match where Team Flair versus Team Hogan. So I look forward to that. Everything else I'm caught up on. We'll do a review on that hopefully this Monday. Apparently we get a promo of Bray Wyatt and the resurrection of Rambling Rabbit, as well as the Firefly Funhouse.
That's more like a segment.
Segment?
Yeah.
Thank you. Ultimately, Rambling Rabbit gets eaten by Mercy, the buzzard, or always vulture, and he just looks at it as an opportunity to tell Seth that the Fiend never forgets and never forgives. Basically.
Promos would you start in the ring?
Or in the back?
No, that's a backstage segment.
Next up, earlier in the night, United States Champion AJ Styles congratulates Humberto Carrillo to actually stand up and get a title shot picture with Seth Rollins. But he is saying that he needs to fight a more worthy champion and veteran in himself, AJ Styles. They would fight, and AJ Styles defeats him pretty damn good. The Street Profits came out pretty much to boast how well they're doing, and then leave in the same manner. Like, okay, that was something. Finally, it would be Jerry the King Lawler's King's Court, but the whole night, it would be considered divorce court, because it would be Rusev and Lana in the ring at the same time to settle this issue. Basically, it was her saying that he's a sex addict and that he wanted babies. He was trying to impregnate her. She's a model. She can't do that. And Bobby Lashley said he was cheating on her, and she believed him. And by the looks of it, I'm kind of agreeing with Lana. There are guys like that who want kids, who are constantly wanting to have sex. But he wore the ring, so this is where I'm confused. He's telling the truth, because his reaction says, "What? And you believed him?" Because he's thinking, why didn't he talk to her? I mean, why didn't she talk to him? Confront him.
Mariah Carey's one of those women.
Yeah. And she ain't lying. So who's lying? It's obviously Bobby Lashley, who comes in and attacks Rusev. Ultimately, Rusev gets the upper hand, takes off his wedding ring, looks like he's going to throw it. Instead, he shoves it down his throat. And here comes Lana with the kendo stick. He looks like he was going to try and talk to her. And then it's a 2-on-1 with the low blow from Bobby Lashley and the slap to Lana and the spear from Bobby. And ultimately, they just kiss deeply on top of him. Man, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. That's it for Monday Night Raw. While he's looking up NXT on October 30th, a shout out to our remaining Heaven's Monsters podcast members, Xavier Hill, Mike Henry, and Andre Mitchell. A link to their 3 YouTube channels pages will be in the descriptions down below. A link to them. And a remaining shout out to Renee, Chris Petrie, Farrell, and Delvin. We'll be right back. And we're back, right? And we're on. Here we go with NXT. The show starts with apparently musical performers, and they introduce Io Shirai and her opponent, Candice LeRae. Io Shirai defeats her with a high-flying move, and the show moves on from there to introduce... What up? Excuse me. They introduce Finn Balor as he explains himself prior to backstage show brought to you by Fox channel or sports or whatever you want to call it, just Fox in general. And he explains that this is his true self, that his past is his future, and that the Prince has made a return. He also mentions is the last time we saw Finn Balor, they were introducing a new mask of the Fiend that laid him out. Well, now he's just simply taken off his own mask to reveal his true self. And now everybody has got more hype, just like when the Fiend was introduced. And he sent a warning to Johnny Gargano that it felt good to hit him once. It's going to feel even better to beat him down. I don't know what sort of grudge he's got with Johnny Gargano, but we'll find out later. Next, we have a match between WWE Performance Center wrestlers. We have Bronson Reed and Shane Thorne. Ultimately, both of these would be representatives of Australia, and Reed ends up getting the win with the heavier body structure. Next up, we have the tag team match. Before this, we had a promo that I was happy to hear. Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors, being introduced as to what they've done so far through a song that my mom found. And the band is called Baby Metal. They do metal, hip hop, or rap, and pop at the same time in their band. It's amazing. And they did a song called Karate. In this fight between the women's tag team champions, the Kabuki Warriors, versus Team Kick. Sadly, thanks to Asuka using the mist once again, and Kairi Sane perfectly pinning herself to cover up the mist face of her opponent to get the win, the referee sees the mist, but the match is already over, and the match cannot be reversed. After that, it would be, oddly enough, damn, this fucking sucks. Team Kick would be assaulted by the four horsewomen, the horsewomen, there's not four, there's only three. So it's the horsewomen of Shayna Baszler and the two flunkies attacking Team Kick, laying them out, and Rhea Ripley, no hurry to rush to their aid, just slowly walks to the ring, and Io Shirai from earlier jumps her, and then we got Bianca Belair getting in that mix, and then we got freaking Candice LeRae getting in that mix, and it's just freaking crazy. They're all jumping each other. This mayhem. Hold up. Be right back. Okay, I'm going to have to cover that. Ultimately, Rhea Ripley comes out and says, I know how to settle this. War Games. First ever women's War Games match at next TakeOver. The team captains are Shayna Baszler on the heel team and Rhea Ripley on the baby faces. Oddly enough. Next, we had Cameron Grimes going up against Tyler Bate, thank you. And Cameron Grimes gets the win with a interference of Killian Dane. I'll cover that in just a bit. We're doing a speed run right now because his ride's here. Finally, we have a tag team match of the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly versus Matt Riddle and Keith Lee. Thanks to the outside interference of the NXT champion, Adam Cole, baby. The Undisputed Era gets the win through dirty-handed tactics. And then coming to the rescue, and I can cover it from here, my brother. Peace out, bro.
All right. Bye.
T-Money is leaving the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be right back, going solo. All right. Okay, so where I left off was the fact that after the match with Undisputed Era and Keith Lee and Matt Riddle, once again, prior to last week, Keith Lee would be assaulted by all members of the Undisputed Era once again. They show no mercy to the guy because they know he's a threat to any of their titles. Now, since he's been in a North American title and a tag team title, there's no doubt he's definitely qualified for the world title in NXT. Comes to the rescue, unexpectedly, a dark babyface in Tommaso Ciampa. He ends up coming in with his crotch to whoop their asses, ultimately getting the edge for Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, and the Undisputed Era is left running. The mic is then given to Tommaso Ciampa, and he leaves a message, an eerie message that people can't help but go wow because they know what it means. Tommaso Ciampa, in his words, says, "Sorry, Goldie, you're gonna have to wait. Daddy's going to war." We already have won War Games with the NXT Women Revolution or Evolution. Now for the first time having those 8 women in one cell. Why not another? 2 matches have been called for NXT War Games. This is going to be good. Prior to what I was mentioning earlier, I had the speed run. It was just crazy how all those women just started going nuts over and over and over and over. The referees couldn't break them up. And Rhea Regal came out on the top of the balcony over the commentators. It was pretty good. I like that setup. That's a good setup. Which case, the crowd is already screaming, "War Games! War Games! War Games!" He said it. I know what to do. War Games. And they stood their lines. 4 women facing face to face. 4 faces across 4 faces. Ooh, yeah. This is kind of interesting, though, because I'm trying to think, what the hell? So Team Kick, I can understand, as well as Candice LeRae, sorry, I said it wrong, being led by Rhea Ripley? So, what exactly is on the other team? We have Shayna Baszler leading that team. We have Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, who's the other woman? One of the other flunkies of hers? See, that's the part that I had to think about. Like, wait a minute. I'll have to go back on that and see who is going to be what. Ultimately, I believe next week we'll find out who the teams are, so that's going to be good. Also, I'm going to have to talk with T-Money because of the fact that I know he's going to have issues with this, because T-Money is one of those people who believes that NXT is not to the level of Raw and SmackDown. But while watching Crown Jewel at where I am at the point of the Team Flair versus Team Hogan, yeah. I don't know how they're going to do this. It's going to be a lot of triple threats, I guess. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this Survivor Series, it's going to be all 3 brands go to war. Raw and SmackDown, as well as NXT. There's no ifs, there's no buts. There is a commercial saying NXT as well as Raw and SmackDown. With the colors red, blue, yellow. So, yeah. We had, what was it? Seth Rollins saying this is Monday Night Rollins. Roman Reigns saying this is my yard on SmackDown. And Adam Cole saying this is undisputed. So those are the leading faces. But, I mean, the biggest match there, I don't know who's going to have the title. But if this goes the way I think it is, we could see Universal Champion of Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins, versus NXT Adam Cole Baby versus SmackDown's WWE Champion Brock Lesnar. That just sounds awesome. Woo-hoo. Oh. But I have to mention one thing. It happened 2 years in a row, right before some Survivor Series. The current champion gets pulled out and replaced immediately with somebody else. It happened with Jinder Mahal with AJ Styles. And in the next following year, AJ Styles gets switched out with Daniel Bryan. So, Brock Lesnar, who is the representative of Raw those 2 years, and whooped AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan, is now on SmackDown? Will he get the curse of the prelude to Survivor Series for holding the championship? You got me on that? This is just how my gears are turning, ladies and gentlemen. To my boys on the Heavens Monsters podcast, leave it in the comments down below what you are looking forward to and what your gears are turning on what's going on so far. So first off, let's cover the Viking Raiders are the Raw Tag Team Champions. But you know what? I'm going to save this for Monday when we cover SmackDown, 205 Live, and Crown Jewel. I'm going to cover Crown Jewel first before that. So it's going to be one whole video, hopefully. Make time for that. And then me and T-Money are going to talk. Give our opinions. I'm going to throw out an idea. He's going to swing and see what he says. And vice versa. He gives me an idea, and I'll give him my opinion. That's how it works. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, that was the end of NXT with the message heard across the world. Daddy's going to war for another match of War Game. So, is it going to be 3-on-3? Or we're going to have all 4 members of Undisputed Era with the addition of Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Matt Riddles, and Dominik Dozovic, or Velveteen Dream, who was assaulted by all 4 members and is, without question, looking to get some payback. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. That's all I gotta say. You liked this video? Give it a thumbs up. You didn't? Give it a thumbs down. Hit that subscribe button right there. You like the content? Hit that notification bell right here. If you want to be kept in the loop on the next Heaven Monsters podcast with me, your boy SergDragon, the man who left and is always with me, T-Money. And I'll see you next time. Peace out.